Dominator 2.
Improved from the appearance in the semi-finals of the last Wars. 24-volt electric motors power 20-mile-an-hour top speeds. The 12-kilo force of the pneumatic axe could mean this dominates the heat.
Roboteers, stand by.
Dominator 2, a worthy machine. Peter Halloway, Chris Hall and Elliot Smart and Derek. Ian Rotherham is the robot driver. Andrew Groves and Frank Rotherham in there with him. Sergeant Bash is also in the arena for the house robots with a flamethrower. And Shunt with the axe, the scoop and the formidable pushing power.
3, 2, 1, activate.
Dominator 2 will start as the favourite for this battle because of the experience and the might of that pneumatic axe. Slamming down then on the stainless steel and aluminium frame in the main. Oh, Derek, quaintly named. Trying there to get its own weapon. The front lifting arm into action. In comes Sergeant Bash. Dominator 2 with a crash. Derek digging into the arena floor. Well, we don't take kindly to that, Derek. With your little fangs. Cutting up our lovely carpet, as it were. Dominator 2, you are now on a mission for us then, to tidy things up. But not like that, you won't. Slamming into the arena wall, poor control. Peter Halloway, 35-year-old development engineer at the controls of Dominator 2. Derek now slammed onto the arena side wall. Shunt is in there as well. Dominator 2 with the axe crashing down. Derek needs to get out of there. Can't get out, it's pinned in on the side wall. Dominator 2 doing all the work, all the pressing, all the aggressive work, and Shunt just barring a way out for Derek. Which way can they go? Caught between a rock and a hard place, and I think they've been immobilised in there now, Derek. There's no way out for them. Dominator 2 will win this one. Derek immobilised, the ref got in there and counting them down. Good start by Derek, but what do we say? Lack of experience would count. They got themselves caught against the arena side wall, and Ian Rotherham couldn't get them away from there. Derek, you're out. Disappointing. After the bright start, in comes Shunt, in comes Sergeant Bash. Through go Dominator 2.
Oh, Derek, just stop working. Dominator 2 go through. Guys, Dominator 2, you're seated 11.
We are.
It shows that we hold you in high regard.
You certainly do.
How do you think you're going to do this year?
All the way.
All the
In
way?
that final.
Well, you're semi-finalists last year, weren't you?
We were.
And they all went pants there. Do you think you can make it to the final this time?
That's what we're trying.
All right, guys. Hope to see you in the final. Let's hear it. Dominator 2!
Roboteers are just like anyone else. Sometimes they take a while to get going. Sometimes that's my job here in the pits, to get them going before they go in there. How are you feeling about the opposition?
No problem at all. We'll trash them.
Trash them. I want insults. Come on, come on.
Everyone hates wedges. Look at that, just a wedge.
Just a wedge.
We're going to fill them full of holes.
Fill them full of holes.
There'd be no Dominator 3.
No?
Square bot, square blokes. We're going to have them.
And that's the best they can do.
From Huntingdon, Dominator 2.
Hi, I'm Paul. This is Pete. That's Chris. This is Dominator 2. 3.5mm plasma nitride coated titanium, goes to 7mm at the front end. An axe that's 4 times more powerful than last Wars, made of aircraft grade aluminium, a lot of CNC work done. Last Wars were semi-finalists, this year we'll win.
Roboteers, stand by.
Ooh, the blinking eyes of Sir Killalot. He means to menace Dominator 2, perhaps. There's the team, Paul, Peter and Chris. And King Bee Powerworks with Simon Harrison and Grant Hornsby in the control pod. There's their machine. Fighting for the house robots, we've seen Sir Killalot, who looks mean and moody. Magnificent, somehow. And Shunt, feisty, aggressive.
3, 2, 1, activate.
Very good battle this. Dominator 2, possibly more impressive in its earlier fight. King B Powerworks needed a judge's decision to separate it from Chronic. And it's Dominator 2's axe dominating the proceedings early on, and King B Powerworks chased into the CPZ there by Shunt, but very quick to turn and get away at 16-mile-an-hour top speed. Manoeuvrable around that arena. Dominator 2, when it gets a run, can actually get up to 20 mph. Down comes the axe once again with a force of 12 kilos, trying to penetrate that sort of plexiglass armament on top of King B Powerworks, but not managing to do so. You can see there the saw, the circular blade at the front of King B, the forks at the back as well. How can it damage Dominator 2 though? It's a major problem. Side by side, no place to duck or hide. King B Powerworks turns to have a forward thrust, but it's Dominator 2's axe that comes down, and no! They have pierced the armament of King B right there in the seal between the plexiglass on top and also the weaponry, the forklift thrusters. They're away, they've got another chance to fight again, but it's Dominator 2 doing all the work here. Semi-finalists beaten by Pussycat in the fourth wars, and again they're dragging King B Powerworks towards them. You can see the wheels spinning there of King B trying to get away. It'll go to the judges. For me, Dominator 2 on top.
Way! Fantastic round 2 battle. Dominator looked like it dominated that, but both robots are still fully mobile in the arena. We're going to have to wait for a judge's decision on that. While they're making up their minds, let's review the highlights.
Well, Craig, Dominator 2 had the axe, and I think that was the decisive difference between the two machines. Slamming, banging, finally piercing, and that for me was the telling moment in the battle. King B Powerworks nagged away, but Dominator 2 was the more aggressive and caused the more punishment.
Well, there's not really any tension here. The judges have not surprised us, really. They've gone for Dominator 2! Very good losers. Now, I said your axe was the best in the business, is it?
Yes, without a shadow of a doubt.
It is so hard.
It's the axe of doom.
Where do you think you're going to go from here?
All the way. That's the plan.
You still believe you can do it this year?
Yep.
No point in being there if we didn't believe it.
You're right there. There's no point in being here if you didn't think you were going to lift the trophy.
Absolutely.
Well, let's hope you do. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Dominator 2!
This is when Robot Wars gets really exciting. First timers against semi-finalists last time. Who's going to go through to the semis this time? It's all to play for, but you've done your work, haven't you, in the meantime?
Absolutely, we've beefed it up. Basically, Dominator's been on steroids for the last year. Double the thickness of shell, axe more powerful.
Yeah, 4 times more powerful?
We reckon so.
From Selkirk in Edinburgh, Corkscrew. From Huntingdon, Cambridgeshire, Dominator 2.
In the Corkscrew control pod, John Heatley and his 2 boys, Lewis and Lawrence. There's their turning, churning machine. Will the blades work this time? Against Paul, Chris and Peter with the Dominator 2 machine and the pneumatic axe.
Roboteers, stand by.
In the arena for the house robots, Sir Killalot, our master of mechanical mayhem, and Shunt alongside him to scoop and axe opponents.
3, 2, 1, activate.
And a busy night for the judges so far. Will the heat final be that close, or will Dominator 2, the favourite for this battle, use that mighty axe to win it and go through to the Robot Wars Series semi-final? Corkscrew against the arena sidewall. Turning away, in comes Shunt. Don't get into that CPZ. The house robots can come in. Corkscrew pressurised by Sir Killalot. How about that for a little turn away from danger? They nip between the two there. Dominator 2, down comes the axe. Well, it's cat and mouse, catch me if you can. Corkscrew off and away. Some might say this is just running away for safety. Others might say it's a tactical ruse, a ploy. Press the pit release button and try and get Dominator 2 down into that pit. Certainly Dominator is the heavier, the more cumbersome, the more thoughtful, but the more potent Corkscrew on its side. And I don't think they'll be able to right themselves. They needed the spinning weapon to act as a Shreemet to get themselves up again. It's obviously not working. And Dominator 2 will reach the series semi-final. Oh, well, they battled bravely, haven't they? Lewis 8-12, Lawrence 11, Dad John, and engineered by trade. And this has been a plucky display by the Scottish team from Selkirk. Well done to them. Congratulations though to Dominator 2. Experience counting in the air. Ooh, that looks painful. That Corkscrew will open no more bottles of vintage wine in celebration. Perhaps a drop of the hard stuff needed for John Heatley in commiseration tonight, but the bubbly belongs to Dominator 2. A rueful look and a sad ending for a very competitive and worthy team. Newcomers to Robot Wars, and haven't they put up a good display? In the end, righted after the fly through the air. But back to the Highlands and Lowlands, back over Hadrian's Wall for Corkscrew. And the Anglos from Huntingdon in Cambridgeshire, Dominator 2, are through to the series semi-finals. They're on fire now. Perhaps there's a wee dram of the hard stuff somewhere underneath that kilt. I don't know, I've never looked up a Scotsman's kilt, never felt the need to. But something in there is on fire. And in goes the ref bot with the extinguisher. Out they go. A pat of the head.
Corkscrew goes spinning out of the competition. Dominator 2 through to the series semi-finals. Lovely young man.
Oh, no.
How could you do it to him?
It just had to be done. Sorry.
You're through to the series semi-finals.
That's the good bit.
With the axe of doom.
Absolutely.
How do you feel? See, these are little lads. There's some big boys in the series semi-finals.
Come on, bring it on. Let's have some fun.
That's what we like to hear.
Absolutely.
That's what we want. Mayhem, carnage, wanton destruction.
Absolutely.
All on Robot Wars. Ladies and gentlemen, Dominator 2.
From Huntingdon, Dominator 2.
By Pussycat at this stage last time, the bi-wedge with a 12-kilo force pneumatic axe, 24-volt power, top speeds of 20 miles an hour make this the fastest in the semi-final.
Hi, I'm Paul, this is Pete, that's Chris. This is Dominator 2. 3.5mm plasma nitride coated titanium, goes to 7mm at the front end. An axe that's 4 times more powerful than Last Wars, made of aircraft grade aluminium, a lot of CNC work done. Last Wars were semi-finalists, this year we'll win.
Roboteers, stand by.
Dominator 2, Peter, Paul and Chris there in the control pod, and the wheelie big cheese boys, Roger Plant, John and Murray with him. In the arena for the house robots, Shunt first up with the diamond edge axe and the scoop. And battling for the house robots too, Dead Metal, the weapons synergy is key.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
A formidable flipper here on Wheelie Big Cheese. Already in this series, it has tossed 2 machines out of the arena completely. Dominator 2 has the heavy axe, but doesn't want to get involved with Wheelie Big Cheese flipper, and there goes the pit release button activated by Wheelie Big Cheese. Up on its side, Dominator 2 trying to get in underneath Wheelie Big Cheese. They turn together, and there's the flip from Dominator 2. That must have sailed 8 feet into the air and then down. Wheelie Big Cheese has this phenomenal power, this time around. It has already tossed one machine out from halfway across the arena. In the earlier heat, out went Wolverine, out went Axor, and that's the power again on Dominator 2. And what damage has been caused there to Dominator 2's electronics within as they come shuddering down. All hail Dominator 2. Well, it's got some work to do here against a really big cheese machine, defeated by Tornado in the semi-finals of Robot Wars 4, beaten in the heat by Chaos 2 in Robot Wars 3. And so determined here, Roger Plant, to go all the way. Dominator 2 digs its axe down to gain some leverage, acting as a stream-mech, and now comes on the attack. They've got to get some damage in on that wheelie big cheese flipper and stop it operating. Otherwise, you get the sense that Roger Plant is going to line up a broadside attack and come in and flip Dominator once again. That's better driving there from Peter at the controls of Dominator 2. So that Wheelie Big Cheese can't get in underneath its side, its flanks, if you get my drift. Now, Dominator 2 spins away, thought about an attack on Wheelie Big Cheese, which momentarily has stopped. What has happened to Wheelie Big Cheese? It has stopped. Something has gone wrong. That's not moving. Dominator 2 was nudging it. Wheelie Big Cheese has, well, in scientific terms, conked out. Roger Plant, what has happened to your machine? I saw it early on in the series, and I thought this was the one that was going to go all the way because of its formidable frenzied flipping power. But it has 2 seconds remaining in Robot Wars. Wheelie Big Cheese has gone out, grated, shredded. And in comes the circular saw there of dead metal. Heat generated, sparks flew. You are Welsh Rarebit.
Wheelie Big Cheese must be feeling Danish blue. Oh dear, Dominator, they go through! That was more luck than judgment, wasn't it?
Oh, no, game plan.
Game plan.
Very lucky, yeah.
You're one fight away
Yes.
from the Robot Wars final.
Yes.
Oh! You think you're gonna get it? Think you're gonna go there?
All the way. Yeah.
All the way. You've been saying it, and I've not been believing you. I'm starting to believe now. I am a believer. Ladies and gentlemen, Dominator 2!
The battles continue for a place in the grand final. The tension is high here in the pits, as you can imagine. I think this is a real battle of technology. Plasma nitrate coated titanium panels here. 4 times more powerful axe than last time. Double thickness shell. Hypno-Disc, the spinning disc of doom, as we noted. They said put that on your toast and butter it.
That's what I said, isn't it?
How do you feel about the opposition?
It's going to be a good fight.
Yeah.
A really good fight.
It is going to be a good fight. You're very well matched.
Yes,
with
I agree.
different weaponry.
Yeah, it's going to be a good battle of weaponry, and in this sort of flipping business, it's going to be a real slugging match, I think this is.
What can we expect from the spinning disc of doom this time?
Lots of holes, lots of sparks, bits everywhere.
We want to see that decimation that Hypno-Disc is so good at.
We'll try our best.
Good.
With no good weather.
Yeah, and we want to see that decimation that Dominator 2 is so good at.
This is going to be history.
Is it?
Today, oh yes.
Is it? I love it when they talk.
Intriguingly, both these machines kept apart from Pussycat. The Cat beat Hypno-Disc and Dominator in the last series. Dominator 2's bi-wedge and the axe against Hypno-Disc's spinner. Paul, Peter and Chris, the Dominator boys. Ken and his sons Derek and Dave, the Rose family, famous with Hypno-Disc.
Roboteers, stand by.
Who's in the arena with the ref bot for the house robots? Let's tell you, Sir Killalot, almost invincible, I think he is. And Sergeant Bash has a fault. Fuel sometimes runs out, and the flamethrower.
3, 2, 1, activate.
Dominator 2 put away on the right-hand side then, trying to buffet Hypno-Disc up onto its side. We've seen that tactic work in the past. Hypno-Disc with the tiny wheels, the 10-mile-an-hour top speeds and the sparks flying from the impact of that shredding disc. Down comes the weight, 12 kilos of force behind that Dominator 2 pneumatic axe, but again, the whole machine was buffeted and now torn by Hypno-Disc. It's ripped the sides of Dominator 2. It's got through the armour, and Hypno-Disc on top here now. What can Dominator 2 do to come back into it? Beat Derek and King B and Corkscrew earlier on in the competition. We've seen it beat Wheelie Big Cheese as well. Had its fortune perhaps when Wheelie Big Cheese conked out. There Peter Halloway at the controls of Dominator 2 needs to come up with something, because Hypno-Disc for me is on top. Reached the grand final in Series 4. Pussycat stopped them. Dominator 2 beaten in the semi-finals in Series 4 by Pussycat. Why aren't they going in for the kill here, Hypno-Disc? Why are they standing off? Is there something wrong with the forward drive? High rev sounding. I don't think there's anything wrong with the motors. There's the damage on Dominator 2. Do you know what I think's happening here? Hypno-Disc think they've won it, and they don't want to sustain any damage. So they're staying out of harm's reach from Dominator 2. Tactics are being brought into play here. Well, it's not spectacular, but it is cagey. Canny by the Hypno-Disc boys. The Rose family, you're not blooming, but you have presented a thorny problem for Dominator 2, which doesn't seem to be able to come back into this fight. Maybe Dominator is lacking some sort of forward power as the clock ticks down to a judge's decision, which I think inevitably will give it to the Roses and Hypno-Disc. We'll wait and see. I don't like it.
Very cagey fight, if you could call it a fight. We're going to have to go to the judges on that one. They'll be looking at style, control, damage. There wasn't much aggression. While they're making up their minds, let's look at those highlights.
Thing is, it was settled early on, wasn't it? The aggression was by Hypno-Disc early in the fight, and once they gouged the side of Dominator 2, they've clearly thought they've won it there and stood off. Highlights from now on in were rare. For me, it has to be Hypno-Disc in the cagey, canny war of attrition.
Well, the judges have made their decision, and they do want me to pass on their opinion that it was the most boring fight in the history of Robot Wars. And the audience, as you can hear, agree with me. But based on the 4 criteria, they've gone for Hypno-Disc! I know it's a spectacle. I know it's not just a spectacle, shall I say. I know tactics are involved. What was going through your head there?
Well, we came here to fight and they didn't want to fight.
Well, well, what happened is they got. See, you can look at it from their point of view. I mean, they get in, bang, they hit you. They obviously want to, go on and win it. Your axe could do some serious damage to them. That you could just go straight through that disc and stop it spinning. So once they'd had the first knock on, it was up to you then. It was up to you then to go and get them. But you didn't. You kept waiting for them to come in at you, and they'd already scored the point.
Yeah, it was good tactics, but boring.
Yeah, and you'd lost driving one wheel, hadn't you?
We did.
Yeah. You told me you were going to go all the way.
Well, I thought I was going to, didn't I?
Yeah, well, you can't if you just hold back, can you?
No, it's one of those things. It was a good fight, it's good fun, it's been great being here, made some good friends. We'll be back, definitely.
Ladies and gentlemen, we know you'll be back and you'll be better. Can we hear it for Dominator 2?